Well, ladies, hello, hello, hello. We are back after our world premiere of Dunamis Woman, Healing the Souls of Women. Ariel Fuller and Pastor D, the subjects of our convo close-up, are back with us. And I have a million questions, as I'm sure people in our chat do as well. First of all, I just want to get your reaction to what you saw, and I don't know if you had an opportunity to see what people were saying in the comments about what an impact you guys have made in their lives. So, what did you think?
Well, it was wow, kind of overwhelming in a sense, but in a good way. When we were in the process of recording it, but now looking back at it now, tears, joy,
Yeah.
fulfillment,
Mm.
it's paying off. That's all I can say. It's paying off. It hasn't paid off, but it's paying off.
Wow. Wow. What about you, Ariel?
Yeah, I didn't see the comments because I was so busy crying. I don't know why
Yeah.
I'm such a crier. But it was truly not just because it's our story, but I think that our story is a part of so many other people's stories. And I
Yes.
think that that's the beautiful part about it is that so many people have this beginning and we all control the ending and we all control what the outcome is going to be based upon our obedience and based upon our diligence. And I think that's the things, like, so many women can take so much from this.
Mhm.
So it was amazing. It
Yeah.
honestly it amazing.
Yes.
Can I, Pastor D, ask you a question? You said something in that made it. I think it struck a lot of people. You said, "Don't let this be, anger. Let it be a righteous anger."
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Like, what is a righteous anger?
Well, just like I stated there, we never feel that we have permission to be angry. Many people walk around with anger, but they don't tap into the fact that they have a right to be angry. Life is going to
Mm.
life, as we now say. But what do we do with that? So I utilize that because the righteousness of God is who I am. It's who I walk into. So I use it for His purpose. I use it to free other people. If it's happening to me, Renee, I know it's happening to somebody else.
Right,
That's
right.
a
You
righteous
guys,
anger.
I feel like your story is so like you just said, Pastor D, it's like so many women are going through this. And I loved what you guys said about women who are, they're hurting and they're rebuilding, and how important that was for you guys to actually join forces so that women understood that they're not alone. I saw there
Mhm,
were a lot of
mhm,
people in the comments who said, "Oh, I was there on Saturday mornings. I remember
mhm.
those times." I think Michelle Obasi said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that." And Ariel, did you see at the time the footprints of this massive movement that you guys had started?
Uh at the time, no.
No.
No. Mom, did you try to answer for me? No.
Yeah, no.
No, at the time, no, I didn't. I don't really recall the time that I did see it bigger than what the reality of it was. But as I said in the beginning, no, at the time it was just like, this is just unorthodox. I don't think that many mothers turn their home into a healing home and ministry. I never saw that before. So I think part of the frustration and the irritation of being abnormal helped me. It caused me not to see this in a bigger way, because it was like, what mother does this?
Mm.
And yeah, I need you to be like normal mothers, not abnormal.
You really, now you know your mother. She is not going to be a quote unquote normal mother.
Right.
You agree, right, Pastor
I
D?
totally agree. Totally.
Pastor D, let me ask you this. When
Mhm,
you had to go to the courthouse and turn over the keys to this house, so here you
mhm,
are. I mean, you want to talk about down on your luck, and it was like you said, you'd lost all your money, every car you'd ever had.
mhm, mhm.
Um, what was that like for you?
Initially, I thought I was gonna pass out. Literally. The first time that I could not have made that mortgage, I didn't realize how much I did not trust God.
Mm.
Oftentimes we say we trusting him, but I had learned I was trusting myself, my own capabilities, my own ability, my own strength, my own power that I literally used to raise them, to make provisions for them, particularly as a single mother, not getting child support, which I don't think about stuff like that anyway, but
Mm.
most of the things that most common mothers do. So when I could not pay the mortgage, it was like I felt like defeat. You know what I'm saying? But the anxiety, the fear, and all those things was there. But it was the best process ever in my life. It was the best experience in my life because it really taught me literally how to not walk by faith, Renee, but to live by faith.
Right, right. And Ariel, that's exactly what you guys had to do when you held your first conference and 12 people showed up, and yet you have these 200 teens. And I mean, how did you do it? And what did you learn from that particular experience?
Well, one thing that stuck out to me that I learned was that um, we had a strong conviction and a knowing at that time that it was time for us to have that conference. It wasn't like it was something I just did by myself. We all,
Mhm.
together. Michelle, my mother was like, "This is a season. This is a time." And I think for me, the lesson learned in that is to, just because the outcome did not pan out to the way that you
Correct.
necessarily expected it to be, does not mean that you don't need to step out and be obedient to what you know that you should be doing. I don't think that I would have had a regard for having a conference now of 500 and 600 women and being able to have the drive if that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Because things are not going to be perfect circumstances for you to step into. So to me, that moment kind of gave me, which also, like I talked about with TSP, it just gave me the fortitude to know that you have to be obedient to something that you know that you know that you know you need to be doing, regardless of the outcome. Right. And so that to
Mhm.
me was, I guess, the biggest lesson learned. And I do it now to this day. Like anytime that I have a very difficult decision I have to make, if I know within my gut that this is the timing and this is the season, I make a decision without any hesitation or contemplation.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wow, wow. Um, do you think you would be here where you are now had you not gone through those experiences?
No way. No way. No way. Um, Renee, to be honest with you, I'm talking from my age standpoint, life experience. As the old folks used to say, I'm not new here, I grew here.
Mm.
So some people who get it quick and easy, I'm kind of afraid for them because easy come can easy go. And
Mm.
I love the process. It does not feel good. Now, don't get it twisted. But the principle of the matter is if you can endure the pain, you can appreciate the promise.
Mm. Wow. That endure the pain, appreciate the promise.
You can
That
appreciate.
is so deep. Listen, I'm telling you, when we spent that day during the summer with you guys, it was like we had been going to church. Okay, we got to be there with you. It was such a unique experience, and it was so wonderful and so healing. Let me ask you guys, because I have a daughter who's 28, and I'm like, I want to know how y'all get over an argument.
Oh, let me answer that. Let me answer that one, Ariel. I shut up.
Oh.
You know, you can't argue with your old self. I once was 28. I once was 34. I once was 35. She's still striving to get to 40, 50, 60. Why am I going to argue? Because I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at who I used to be. I'm looking at how I had to grow.
Mm.
So I just be quiet because it's a part of who she is at this moment. It's not who she's going to always be. So it's no fight. It's called humility. It makes
Mm.
me look like I'm humiliated, but there is no exaltation without humility. And so it preserves our relationship. You know, sometimes it's not easy because I can go at it, she can go at it, we can go at it. Two people just alike. It ain't gonna look pretty, Renee. You know, it ain't
I
gonna, and I know that
I
I can
love
do things to win. I know I can overexert, you know what I'm saying? My authority, but the business, the vision, and most of all, the people. Why
Mm.
am I going to sabotage just for my own sake when it's bigger than she and it's bigger than I?
Wow. So does that also help you, Ariel? Does that help you focus on the things that really matter and to sort of let go of the stuff that doesn't?
Yeah, I think it's
Knowing
it's in reverse kind of for me. I guess like she said, don't argue with your younger self. I think for me, it's like
You don't argue
not
with our
arguing
old self.
with your future self, right? And so for me, the biggest thing that always helps me is that I know people always say like just give it to God, right? But the reality is I she's wiser than me. She's has been through more life than me. Her direction and where she receives and where she hears is not going to be from me. It's going to be probably more than likely from God. And men that are around her or people that pour into her. And so for me, I just take when I have frustrations, I take my heart matter to God, because at the end of the day, like he was the one giving her direction to lead and to nurture me and to develop me before I even knew that I was really here on this earth, right? And so I firmly believe that he's the one that's speaking to her to continue to lead and cultivate this vision and cultivate our relationship. And so for me, I just always take my heart, kind of like that spoiled brat, but I take my heart to the Father, literally like the Heavenly Father, like
Mm.
here, right? Like this is where I'm going to bear all that frustration and that, you know, just just where I am at that time. And it works for me every time, because why direct that anger towards her when reality is that we neither of us are in control of what is happening in this vision, what's happening in our lives, what's happening, around us. We just have to surrender. But truth of the matter is the plan has already been paved out. And so we have to be able to be in a place to surrender to it. And if I argue with her, it's just going to make it longer for us to get to the final outcome.
And and
Wow.
and and we had to grow into this. I mean, I don't want people to think that it was like, oh, this is just what we're saying. I mean, I commend TSP, Lamar, the coaches, all of them. I mean, they have heard and seen some of our bouts, but we had to learn, how do we grow together? How do we
Mm.
grow? And my stake is, as I had come to a resolve, is I'm not going to lose my daughter for a business.
Mm. Mm.
I'm not
Right.
going to lose my legacy for money, you know,
Wow.
but I can have them both.
Yep.
I can
Yep.
have it all, you know? And so many pastors' kids, they're lost because they're
Mm.
focusing on the ministry, on the church, and on this. If I can't win the souls of my children, I can't win the masses.
Wow. Wow. See, this is the Pastor D that all of the people in the comments are talking about. Thank you, Pastor D and Ariel, for this powerful conversation. Endure the pain makes you appreciate the promise. Couple other folks in here. The combo uprooted some things lying dormant in my soul that I must
Mhm,
confront and accept and heal in my time. It's
mhm,
time, she
mhm.
writes in all caps. Um, Tell me a little bit about what TSP did for you and means to you. And Ronnie and Lamar, what have they did. I mean, Ariel, you talked about it in the piece, but they really did sort of spur your growth forward, right?
Yeah. I think it wasn't in there, but remember when we were recording and I was talking about, TSP to me literally meant like a total shift in prosperity,
Mhm,
because it changed my mind and how I think
mhm,
about not
mhm.
just most people think about money, that prosperity is not just money. It's really changed my mind and how I think about my future and how I think about the promises that is stored up for me that I have a responsibility to go after. And to me, it just shifted that I can't just wait for something to happen, but I have the ability to create because I come from the creator. And TSP, it was a little bit difficult because coming in immediately, no one, and not just TSP, most people in the world don't even know what Dunamis is. Right? Like, it's like, what? You just a dumb what? Well, like, what are you talking about? And so that alone was kind of like the difficult part about believing in something that no one really kind of understands, but you understand and you know that it's possible. And so I will say, along the way of growing with Lamar and Ronnie, as our leaders and as someone, what I call like strong foundational mentors for me, but they became like family. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see someone with you as you're evolving and as you're growing and seeing the growing pains. I was 27 years old. Now I'm 34. Like, that's family
Mhm.
now. That's not just,
Mhm.
oh, you're just my mentor, you're my business coach. Like, no, you are literally like Uncle Ronnie, Auntie, Uncle Lamar, Auntie Ronnie. So to me, it's like, yeah, I don't know if I would be who I am today if it wasn't for them. And I just always thank
Mm.
them so much for just taking the time to cultivate something in me that I didn't even know was in there. And I'm forever grateful for that, like forever.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
I love it.
Mhm.
Ladies, I know you have a big event coming up in like 10 minutes. So I'm going to let you go. But first, I want to know, Ariel, you talked about it. Maybe Pastor D, you can add on to this a little bit about what are you
Mhm.
guys looking to do in the next, year or two or five?
Mm. Um, Continue to grow Dunamis Woman Enterprise. Healing for My Soul has become a movement within itself. Continue to spearhead that, reach more women across the globe. For me, start Dunamis Church International. Started online, continue to expand the House of Healings. I do see myself having House of Healings in other states, and develop leaders. This is not all about
Mm,
me. I mean, it's so many women that are here that what's next for when they get healed? What's next for when they continue to move? I don't want people to look at me. I am looking at the people. I want to pull out of them, just like Lamar pulled out of me, just like Ronnie pulled out of us. It's time for us to do the same. I
mm,
see us being able to touch and impact women. What is your ministry? What is your business? What is your vision? What do you have? One thing I have a pet peeve about is people sitting in the pew and the pastor don't look at the people, and the people looking at the pastor. So no, I want to tap into the women and get out of them everything and see their life change and their husbands and their children's build a legacy as well. So I'm grateful that God is using us, but they have legacy as well. So I see that. I see people growing and living to their maximum as well.
love it. Well, you know what? I so appreciate you guys. I appreciate the time that you spent with us over the summer and appreciate the time that you've spent with us today. You are two amazingly powerful, powerful women. And I just look forward to seeing what happens and following your journey as you guys continue on and continue building Dunamis Woman community.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
So we can, if you are new to our community, you can connect with us and join our community, our free community at www.dunamiswomancommunity.com. And that will just have you connect with us, or you can join our Facebook group, Dunamis Woman Community on Facebook, and just, get a sneak peek of what we're about. And that's just
Mhm.
another way of connecting, with us. And I want to just shout out before we leave our Dunamis Woman community, because they are in the comments going
Yeah.
crazy, supporting us in every way.
Yes.
And I just commend that, because I will say, not only just growing a business, but growing a faith-based business and being comfortable to even talk about your wounds and your process and your wins all
Mm,
along the way. Most people are very nervous to do that, but to have a loyal community that is supporting us, and although people may not understand us, we have you all. I'm talking to our community that is here, and like, you give us the drive. So I'm just forever grateful for that, because we all show up together and we're like family.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
thank you all
Mhm.
for being here and being like family. And if you want to be a part of our family, just go to dunamiswomancommunity.com and join us, because we would love to have you.
We would love to have you.
All right. You know what? That is spoken like a chief operating officer right there. All right. All right. All right. Hey, listen, everybody in the comments, thank you so much for keeping our comments hopping. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. We would love to have you here. We're doing a lot of things on our YouTube channel. So would really love for you to subscribe and hit the notifications button. To you two powerful, powerful women, may I just say, God bless you and thank you for blessing so many of us. Thank you so much for your time and have a great rest of the year. And we will see you around.
Thank
And thank
you.
you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see
Bye.
you next time.